All right, cool. We are live. Let's see if we can go ahead and try that. See how that works. Pull up the instructions here. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, so who knows if anybody's going to be up at this hour. But we go ahead and switch into the other phone, just in case anybody wants to do the live chat. Oh, there we go. And we already have my son in here saying, "Hi, hey boy." Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and check this out. So today's video, we're doing this carburetor out of a 2007 Honda TRX400EX, the SporTrax, and he already has an aftermarket carb in it from what I can see. So they're pretty much all the same for the most part, the aftermarket China carbs. It's quicker and easier just to replace it, but he does have a performance exhaust system. So we're going to go ahead and install this DynoJet jetting kit. So this is pretty cool. These carburetors here a lot cheaper than the original. I'm not sure. I just did one for a TRX450R and seemed to run pretty damn good with also putting the DynoJet kit in that one. But this one right here is a little bit more complete. Comes with the fuel petcock, which I'm going to be replacing. Cover, fuel filter. I got a new OEM fuel line, so we don't have to use the fuel filter. Comes with the new fuel knob, petcock knob, and then also comes with its own spark plug, which appears to be the right one as well, a DPR8EA-9. We'll go ahead and replace that if it looks like it needs to be replaced. If not, customer has an extra one. But yeah, pretty cool kit. Let's see here. So let me get this stuff out of the way. So purpose of today's video is to go ahead and do some performance jetting. So let's see here. All right, so forwarding, let me pull up the diagram here. So we're going to go ahead and do a stage 1 on this bad boy. So for stage 1, it says remove the top carb plate, remove the slide lift arm screw, and remove 2 needle plate screws. Flip the linkage forward and remove the slide. Install DynoJet needle on groove number 3 for applications below 5,000 feet, groove number 2 for above 5,000 feet, using all the stock spacers. Install the DynoJet washer above the E-clip. Remove the stock main jet, replace with the DynoJet main jet adapter. Screw the DynoJet main jet provided into the main jet adapter. If you are running the stock exhaust, use the DJ142 below 3,000 feet, DJ138 from 3,000 to 6,000, and DJ134 above 6,000 feet. If you are running an aftermarket exhaust, use the DJ146 below 3,000 feet, the DJ142 from 3,000 to 6,000 feet, the DJ138 above 6,000 feet. Be sure that the jet you are changing is the main jet. Locate the fuel mixture screw. For 2005 to 2008 models, use the tool provided to adjust the mixture screw. For 1999 through 2004 models, use a flat blade screwdriver. Turn the mixture screw clockwise until it seats, then turn out 3.5 turns below 5,000 feet or 3 above 5,000 feet. So pretty straightforward. We're going to go ahead and tune this for basically a vehicle that has an aftermarket exhaust being ridden below 3,000 feet. So we're going to go ahead and put, from what it looks like, using the aftermarket exhaust, we're going to use a 146 main jet, and we're going to go ahead and turn it out to 3.5 turns on the pilot mixture screw. And that's pretty much it. And then also the jet needle E-clip groove position will be number 3. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward to install one of these here. But this is pretty much the kit. Kit's pretty cool and straightforward. Yeah, so this carburetor here, it's a nice China carburetor. These things are pretty cool. For the price, you really can't beat it. It's under $100 compared to the new one, and it seems like they work pretty well, especially when you put a performance jetting kit in. It just makes all the difference. So we'll go ahead and start with removing this top cap cover here. Bend that over a little bit. Oh, washing my head. You get the chest cam. Chest cam iPhone adapter is in the mail from Amazon. Should probably have it sometime this week, and we'll no longer have nice headshots. So that's the top cap removed right there. And that gives us access to the inside of the valve, piston valve. And let's see here, we can go ahead and take our screwdriver. Not too tight. Okay, there we go. A little bit better focusing. Trying different angles here. If that kind of helps. So we'll go ahead, crack those loose. Okay. And let's see, depending on the type of screwdriver you have, sometimes it's magnetic. A snap-on isn't, but this Klein is. Pull those out. Go ahead and slide this arm up. Let's see. Okay, it goes up and over like that, and then that gives us access to the top of the jet needle. Go ahead and, oh, so that's interesting. So that's what makes this China carb a little different. It has the spring in the attachment, but this rod here, the OEM one, has a groove cut out in this arm to hold the spring so the slide doesn't come off. So that's already one discrepancy. Discrepancy? Ah, my mouth is kind of dry. But you understand what I'm trying to say. China carburetor, it's going to be a little bit different than the original. But there we go. There's the jet needle. Very nice. Discrepancies. Yeah. Okay, cool. So go ahead and leave that like that. So this is pretty cool. Okay. Dyno 190. Let's go ahead and pop this bad boy out. Just kind of eyeball them. So it looks like the aftermarket one, the lower portion of the taper is a little thinner, probably just a little thinner. Looks nearly identical towards the top. Let's see. Not a huge drastic change in the taper. You probably have to pull out the micrometer in order to see. But lengths are pretty much identical. If I put them both on the same flip position, they're going to be identical right there. Let's see. Yeah. So, yeah, that's it's pretty interesting. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. Probably definitely can't see it on the iPhone. If I bring it up a little, I don't know if that helps. But there is a slight difference in the jet needle curvature compared to a stock or even the Chinese one. So that's kind of going to make it run a little different. That's why usually you don't have to replace the pilot mixture screw when you put in these kits, because you're making up compensating with a different jet needle. This taper here is a little bit thinner in diameter, so it allows more fuel to bypass. So we'll go ahead and take, let's see, find our, we got stickers. Look at that, cool stickers. All right, so has a washer and the clip. Go ahead and take that out. They'll come out. Doesn't want to come out. There it goes. Okay. And then for our applications below 5,000 feet, we're going to place it on the third position. So we got 1, 2, 3. 1. There we got 1, 2, 3 right there. Take a little flathead. And then carefully inspect it to make sure that the little tang on the back fully seats inside the groove as well. You can kind of check by rotating it. It should rotate pretty smooth. And then basically take this washer here. So it'll take the washer that comes in the kit. That's going to go pretty much on top. There were no washers underneath of it, so there are no other washers to keep, or should I say there's no other washers to install, just basically the one that comes in the kit. And carefully drop that bad boy. Oh, and hold on. Not like that. Let's see. So best way. Maybe with some needle nose. Except my needles are magnetized, so it's gonna hold the little washer on top. So best bet is to just drop it in there. Oh shoot. Oh, I guess that was easy. Okay, very nice. So got the jet needle in there with the washer on top. Go ahead and put this arm back on. I have to. Okay. Applying a little bit of tension on the throttle lever. It's gonna hold this up. All right, perfectly aligned. We'll go ahead and take our Phillips through. All right, first one is in. Take our second one. Go. Go ahead and torque those down. Don't want to over tighten them. Make it harder for the next person to service it if it never needs to be serviced in the future. Okay. Then basically want to check, make sure there's no play in the needle. If you can, just very carefully. You almost want to see if you can move it up and down. Just like a light little rub with the pinky there. And I don't feel any movement in the jet needle. So that I'm gonna say that's good. Just like that. Pretty much a sealed deal. And since the O-ring didn't really come off, let's just go ahead and put a little bit of grease on it right here. And what this does, not only does it kind of help seal, but it just makes serviceability easier in case you need to take it off in the future. But that's pretty much that. Didn't have to really take too much off. And this is obviously a lot easier to be done with a brand new carburetor versus one that's dirty or one that's inside. The instructions say that you can do it inside, which you could. It's just gonna be a lot harder. It's a lot, more difficult versus just removing the whole carburetor. Um, that's what I would charge for. It's an older bike. We're already using aftermarket parts. Everything's just better. I can do it and comes out really nice, no scratches. Everything's perfect. So that way I can guarantee reliability. And if the customer, say in a couple of years, it's typically what happens. After most of these bikes, looks like I forgot to put that on right there. Most of these bikes, after I do the major services on them, It's very rare that they come back unless like something breaks and it's time to fix them up or do another major service on them. Most people can kind of do their oil changes and stuff like that. Just the basic stuff. But I'll pretty much do the meat, the meat and the gravy kind of stuff. Basically restore the bike back to running condition. So that. All right, cool. All right. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the bottom side of the carb. And technically, just only have to remove bowl nut here using a 17 millimeter wrench. Go ahead and crack that loose. Oh, something here. Either some type of race gas. Looks like it's already had gas in it. Huh. Or if this is was a return carburetor. Could just be a huh. Kind of curious now. I wonder if this was used. A little bit of crud right there. Well, let's go ahead and pull this bad boy apart while we're at it. See what we got going on here. So let's see. Looks like we could do it doing this. Okay. So I don't know if this is a preservative. It almost smells like gasoline though. So I'm not really sure. We'll find out right now. Yeah, it is kind of laggy, huh? What's going on with this lag? Took it off the Wi-Fi. There we go. A little bit of a better view, maybe. All right, cool. So this right here should just pull right off. Oh, probably take that off, be a little easier. think this was used, to be honest. Well, it comes with the 140. So we're gonna go ahead and pull out this 140. It is what it is. All right. So stock comes with a 140. Probably very hard to see that. But according to the DynoJet instructions, we're going to go ahead and for an aftermarket exhaust, we're going to use the 146 for below all those feet, 3,000 feet. So that's 155. We're also going to install this adapter here. I'll go inside. 60, 170. That's for like a stage 2. 148, 138, 146, 134, 142. What the heck? Where is? Oh no, it is 146. 146. Cool. Okay. So we'll take our adapter here. Just gonna thread that in by hand. Oh, so looks like it's gonna be a number 7. Okay. Then we'll take our 146. Okay. That's pretty much it. And then as far as the pilot mixture screw, see what we're at. So I got half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 2 3/4 almost. So we're gonna go 3.5. Half, 1, half, 2, half, 3, 3.5. All right, cool. So that's pretty much a starting point right there. Once you get installed, you might have to maybe adjust this, but usually right off the bat, whatever they tell you to put, that's usually what's going to run the best. So pretty straightforward. Let's see, this one's really not too bad. Let's see here. Everything looks pretty good. Okay. Same thing, I'll just go ahead and put just a little bit of grease. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and pop this bad boy back on. That kind of goes like that. Okay, cool. I wonder if we should actually verify the pilot jet. Yeah, we should do that. Just because this is a China carb, and who knows if this is the original. Let's go ahead and see what that is. Let's just, so we kind of have an idea just in case. Kind of runs weird. So looks like it's a 42. 42, huh? And wait a minute. Not only is it a 42, it's like one of those shorter ones, a little shorter. But it seems to, interesting. You know, sometimes these aftermarket carbs, the way they're casted, sometimes they're close to the original, but they're just not the same. All right, so we got a 42. I know that's, well, I don't know what the stock one is, but 42 is a good number. That's probably pretty decent. Let's see. Ooh, wrong way. Probably help if I put this on the right way. So it's gonna go. Yeah. So you just basically want to make sure you have this fuel baffle here clocked in the right position for your overflow tube here in the float bowl. If you have this in the wrong position, it won't go down correctly. Okay, looks nice. Should be good. All right, let's go ahead and throw our screws back in. Go ahead and cinch them down. Yeah, not the best angle on the iPhone. I get it. Yeah, it's just kind of how it is till figure it out. Honestly, once that new order, that new part comes in, things might be a little different. Might be able to get some better angles. Actually, like working from the chest, like kind of a POV type of view. We'll go ahead and put this float bowl nut back on. Take our 17 millimeter, break that down, and then last but not least, idle cable. I kind of like to usually put just a little bit of grease. It's kind of help in the future. Take a little bit of grease. Let's put that on the threads there and kind of feed that back in. Okay, that's like pretty much it. I'll just slightly touch it just so it just barely opens. Kind of see it there opening. Leave it like right there just so I know it's touching it. So then when I go to fire it up, just barely got to make a minor adjustment to it, set the idle. That's typically the same thing that you're going to do. Let's see, we'll put a little, these are kind of, sometimes these right here get a little rusty. It's a little bit of grease on that one as well. So in the future, we do decide to rebuild it since it has the good parts. Hopefully this customer decides to come back to me after I make his bike run really nice. Yeah, I'll just make servicing the carburetor. Usually I like to put a little bit of grease on everything. You can come back to it in like a year or so. And really nice. And that's pretty much it. So now at this point, we can go ahead and you'd pretty much install this carburetor into the bike. And then you may have to make a slight pilot mixture screw adjustment, but for the most part, it's going to run really solid right off the bat. All you're going to need to do is just adjust the idle. Probably won't even, sometimes they run so good if they're tuned right, you'll never actually have to use the choke again. It'll fire right up without the choke. That's usually with like a performance exhaust. Sometimes you may need the choke. It all depends on the temperature of the climate that you're in, but that's typically all that it takes. At least down here in Southern California, nice hot sunny day, lower elevation near sea level. Typically, when I tune a bike like this and take it out, it runs phenomenally. Everything's perfect. The idle, the way the throttle responds, the way the 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 horsepower and the torque and how it delivers. Using a DynoJet performance jetting kit is just 9-day difference over the stock jetting. It just opens it up and makes the bike actually fun to ride, in my opinion. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Not too much else going on there, but yeah. So pretty much all I'd have to do now is install this bad boy into the bike, and we're good to go. And then it's kind of cool. Comes with a lot of extra jets. I don't end up using the majority of them, and they end up just kind of working just fine the first time. So I have like so many jets. I need to like put these up on eBay or something. Kind of, I have probably, shoot, I don't know, probably like 50, 60, 70. Enough to fill a jet kit, that's for sure. So I don't know. Depends on what they're worth, I guess. Or I just stop hoarding them and throwing them, start throwing them away. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Just wanted to show this right here, and maybe we'll show a little video of installing it tomorrow, getting it in, and then maybe firing it up, take it for a test ride. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So, all right, guys, hit those comment boxes. Got any questions? Don't forget to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. And like always, stay tuned and thanks for watching.